And this is not just experiences that I've had with men bosses, and I've come from a very male dominated, electronics and distribution. I was the divisional CEO of TNT also in the past 5 years ago. So, I come from a very industrial male dominated business experience, but it's not just from men, it's also from women I've worked with at peer level or for. Defensiveness, inflated egos, narcissism, distrust. Sometimes people do not always give you the benefit of the doubt, and that can lead to cynicism. So whilst I think skepticism is okay up to a point, cynicism never okay. So understanding that, sensing it when it's building, and trying to change tack or manage that dynamic can be quite challenging. Another thing for women, I think particularly, don't smile all the time. You really don't have to. I think for me, it's not authentic. I think what's important is to build gravitas. You deserve to be in your role. You don't have to prove it time and time again. There really should be no room for imposter syndrome, but obviously everybody feels it from time to time. So I think it's important to hold true to your values. You don't need to win every battle to win the war. So choose when to challenge and on what issues. Choose when to align gracefully. And I think that's an important one. And I think that very much helps where the balance of women to men is disproportionate. I think some women seem to think it's right to challenge every single issue. And for me, that becomes a bit tedious. Force rank them, choose where to play. That's it. The second one I've picked is what I call the two-headed hydra of adversity. Now, a hydra is this huge monster that's got two heads. And for me, this is about the hydra of adversity. Stuff happens in businesses, in life. How you manage the stuff, the adversity, the challenges yourself and in your family. And secondly, how you help others through their own challenges. That is a challenge and something to be worked on. It's quite difficult sometimes to strike the right balance of being the confident, being, if you like, the mother or the mother figure, and being the leader, especially when people are in distress. And especially when people may not wish to confide, not be ready to confide, may not trust. I found many women are maybe not as comfortable in numbers outside the finance community, as they should be. So working on issues that you're dealing with based on facts, corralling your rationale and your argument around facts-based assertions, that's very powerful and it's very influencing. So don't be afraid of numbers. Numbers are powerful. I did mathematics to some degree, but not at degree level. And I do think, don't be afraid of the finance bit. It's not just for finance people. Commercial people like myself, we really need to know our numbers and know which numbers are important. So some of those things are challenging. I think family and friends often tell you or comment on how long and how hard you're working, and it might be very well intentioned, but it can be a bit irritating when you really are working your socks off. So my recommendation is, and what I have tried to do regularly, is define my executive ambition. Yeah. I write it down. I review and reflect on it regularly. And of course, in parallel, I've tried to work out with my partner, my husband, a game plan that works for him, for me, and for our kids. I've got 2 kids, and I was a managing director when I had my 2 kids. I had them both in my 40s, so I was quite well advanced in my career. So I've had different challenges than perhaps people having their kids slightly earlier. But then you have to flex your schedule. Make sure at the beginning that it, at least in principle, works for you as a family.